Today's creature is Prialoura. Prialoura is a tier 4 creature, being a glider one. Its flight speed is normally 39. When sprinting, it increases to 25%. That means 39 times 1. 25 equals 4,875, so their effective speed would be 48.75, which leads to another topic. 1 velocity point approximately equals 1 meter. Therefore, 48.75 times 3. 6 equals 175. 5 km/h. This would be an estimated result while giving boost to gliding. But the real question is, could Prialoura actually glide? In theory, yes, but not for long periods. The Prialoura is heavy and would tire easily, even though it probably has a keel that helps balance its weight. He would also likely lose a lot of stamina with maneuvers and corrections during the flight. So the most realistic thing would be long downhill dive, short periods on flat terrain, and not maintain 175 kilometers per hour, but rather 140 kilometers per hour. Because without boost, the calculation would look like this. 0.1 velocity point approximately equals 1 meter. 39 meters per second times 3.6 equals 140.4 kilometers per hour. It's a high speed, but consistent with the speed of a large creature gliding with a favorable wind. But on flat terrain, the speed would gradually decrease without flapping the wings. Now, we have to calculate the proportion of the creature's wings and body. Visually, the Prialoura has a robust body for a quadruped, being large, elongated, and big chest. The wings are relatively large, but not enormous for its apparent weight. Its wings would be better suited for fast gliding, cruising flight, but not for easy takeoff. In technical terms, the Prialoura has a reasonable wingspan, but a high wing loading. Wing loading is the most important factor here. Wing load equals weight divided by wing area. The larger it is, the harder it is to take flight. It needs to flap its wings harder and faster, and it also depends on sprinting or diving. Another question, would it be able to take off from a standstill? Probably not. With that body, Prialoura wouldn't be able to take off vertically or even make a short jump. And another thing, he would have to flap his wings faster. This would compensate for the smaller wings, but it would consume a lot of energy and wouldn't sustain flight for very long. Well, if he flapped his wings harder instead of faster, the blows would have to be wider and heavier, and the bones and muscles would have to be extremely dense, which doesn't seem to be the case here. A standard flight pattern for a Prialoura that would make it more realistic would be run or jump from a high point, give 3 to 6 very powerful wing beats, enter rapid glide, maintain altitude with whine and avoid climbing without external assistance. Now, if it existed, would it be able to glide well? Yes, but it would be a mediocre to poor glider, not exceptional. It would glide fast, straight, expending altitude, and would be very dependent on the environment. But why? Starting with its wings, which are apparently connected at the base of the tailbone. In real life, efficient wings originate in the center of mass, aligned with the pectoral muscle, and allow fine control of pitch up, down. In Prialoura, the wings are set far back, very close to the base of the tail. This shifts the center of lift backward, which can cause consequences such as instability at low speeds, tendency to dive, and the needs to maintain high speed all the time. Another important point is, good wings for gliding need to be wide, elongated, and have a large wing area. But the wings of the Prialoura are thin and have little relative area, having an aerodynamic profile closer to the wings of a diving falcon, not an albatross or condor, resulting in sustainability that only appears at high speed, but at low speed leads to a rapid decline. Its robust build and broad chest are a plus, as they mean it has strong muscles that can aid in initial takeoff and help maintain stability at high speed. Unfortunately, too much weight means too much weight on the wing and reduces planing efficiency. In other words, the Prialoura trades efficiency for power. With its wings retracted and seemingly having a long tail, the tail becomes the main stabilizer, allowing it to have good directional control left, right, but it maintains poor vertical stability at low speeds. In practice, it's great for flying in a straight line, but it's terrible for flying up, gliding slowly, and performing delicate maneuvers. And now, final conclusion. It could glide and travel long distances if it had altitude and why, but it wouldn't glide slowly, it wouldn't float, and it wouldn't take off easily either. The Prialoura would be a high-speed, Low-efficiency glider, dependent on elevation gain, wind, and altitude, functional, but far from ideal.